declare that carried. Thank you very much. Right, the Capital Endowment Fund, I'm expecting this only to take a couple of minutes, and then we will close the meeting and people will have a quick break before we go to our briefings. So we have slightly changed the recommendations. We've got those. We've got the bits up there. Yeah. So following some conversations earlier, and there's the extra bit for the community boards. Yeah, so we've got some more wording to go up there that so this has been recommended due to the impacts of COVID on community groups, and some of the community boards have had extra pressure on theirs, and so there was a desire to allow community boards which had fully expended their discretionary funds to be able to apply through their community governance teams, referring it through.
Have you got the wording there, Smith?
The transfer.
Right.
Well, we have to transfer a specific amount because the transfer between. It's not just a.
No, you can't up.
No, we can only do a specific amount. We don't have to use it all, and yeah, we'll see how it goes. There's more stuff happening next year. Okay. So have we got any questions for Sam here, Anne, and then Yanni?
Kia ora, Sam. Just wondering if there would be like a limit that each community board could access. Would there be a...
No, I think we'd take it on a case-by-case approach and working with the governance teams and balancing the funds that are available to those boards and the need in the community. So we'll just take a citywide approach, bearing in mind the needs of local communities.
And bearing in mind that this will, that decisions on that will be made at the committee here anyway. Yep. So we'll get oversight of that. Yanni?
Thanks. I just wanted to check, like, in terms of central government funding. We've just heard from the libraries, for example, that there was significant central government funding put in. Do we have any sense of what funding's been made available by central government to help community organisations?
Yeah, we keep tabs on that and distribute information to advisors accordingly as new funds arise. However, that's not connected to this report.
Right. And do we talk to, like, I presume we've saved a lot of money from events, so have we thought about using that money rather than from the endowment fund?
My understanding from talking with my events colleagues is that the events that have been cancelled and therefore funds have been returned, those funds are available for other events to apply to or to be redistributed to other events who are going ahead but have increased costs. That sort of report would come back to yourselves for a decision.
Right. Do we know when we're likely to get a report on?
So we can get that information. We can get some information on when we will hear next.
It's just having done the Strengthening Communities, what was clear in that is that the Strengthening Communities is actually funding a lot of these local events as well. So, yeah, okay, thanks.
Some of the events that the Discretionary Response Fund has funded have been cancelled. The money's returned and remains available.
Yeah, I think that'd be quite helpful. Like, even at a community board level, a number of the community events that are funded through community boards haven't gone ahead. So there must be money available as well.
Yeah, sure. There are some funds still available in this fund, for example. However, we've currently got over $100,000 in applications that we're currently assessing and will bring to this committee, and it's only December, so we're 6 months into a financial year.
Are you able to give us a sense of what the applications are for?
So the current allocation of various funds through the various grants funds at the moment, through events and those kind of things, how they're being allocated and whether they are on budget being returned, we can get some information through on that. It's not really specific to this particular report.
Well, no, what I'm concerned about is using a capital fund to fund operational grants, where I'd prefer that we kept operational funding operational.
Let's remember that this is the Capital Endowment Fund.
Yeah.
It's actually best used for things which have a higher rates impact the grants and things, which is what we normally do.
Well, yeah. Just
So we'll get some information on those things.
Okay,
Okay.
but when are we likely to get that information around budgets?
So was the information that was already supplied to you around events funding and what was happening to it, did that miss the mark? That wasn't
Yeah, I mean,
sufficient?
well, it was quite a while ago, and it didn't really cater, because there's been a whole bunch of new events that have been announced. So it doesn't really, and it doesn't look at the external funding like Christchurch NZ, which has had massive events cancelled.
We'll update what's happened
So-
in the last couple of months.
And it doesn't really, I don't think it covered the community boards as well. But I guess I was just interested in the sense of types of applications that we're receiving in response to COVID that's creating a demand on that fund. Are you able to give us a high level sense of what people are needing funded?
So
We'll
I'm
get
actually
some
going to
information to you.
draw this to a close because this is
okay.
about the transfer of funds. Yanni, feel free to vote against it.
Okay.
But we will see the applications as they come through, and you can make a decision as a councillor on a case-by-case basis as those funds come through. It's not fair on council staff to ask them to make public things that are still in an application process. That's right, and when the applications come through, you'll be able to see those. Yeah. Okay, do I have a mover for the current recommendations? Tim? Oh, did you have a question? Sorry, Phil.
Hey Sam, it's all very well. I see this money coming out, and it's all cool. If people need it, they need it. Where does the money from the Capital Endowment Fund come from? Or is it a big number? Did it used to be a big number, and now it's a little
It's
number?
an excellent question. So there's a capital fund of approximately 100 million, just higher than 100 million. And
So it's only interest we
This is
spend?
the interest from it.
Yeah.
So that interest varies depending on interest rates. Elected members make decisions about that funding. It funds the likes of Christchurch, NZ, operational funding, etc. And then the remainder, it was decided back in 2018, would be available to community organisations to apply to under set criteria.
Yeah.
For
So we don't
community
spend the principal, so to speak.
projects. Correct. This is interesting.
Okay. Right. So I have Tim was moving, and who was seconding? Anne. Do I have any debate? No. In that case, I'll put the motion. Ka whaka ai. Those in favour? Any against? Ka whaka kau? Okay, so those that recorded. So Sam, Yanni, and Jamie, and Aaron. Catherine, where are you at? You're all good? Okay. Right. Declare that carried. Thank you very much. Thanks for that, Sam. Kāti, kua mutu tō tātou huia nai nei, and ngā mihi mai hoa kia koutou. So meeting's done, and I'll ask Councillor Coker to finish the karakia.
Te kuna, te wairua, kia rere, te taumata, ko te mata tika te mata pono he arahi e ngā mahi, ke aratahi te tira, kia eke panuku, kia eke tangaroa. Homie, huie, tai.
Kia ora, thank you very much. Okay. So 10 minutes. Everyone back here in 10 minutes. Quick stop and some coffee.
So this is 3 waters, isn't it?
Yeah. So Liam is flipping them through.